In 1739, John Wesley produced a book of hymns with his brother Charles. And in the preface to that hymn book, he made the following point. He called for people who were fearless, God-driven, and world-shaking. Here's the quotation, and I'm sure you've heard it before. Here it is. He didn't mince words. He issued this challenge, and it still cuts. Here we go. Give me 100 preachers who fear nothing but sin and desire nothing but God, and I care not a straw whether they be clergy or laymen. Such alone will shake the gates of hell and set up the kingdom of heaven upon earth. Now, at first glance, it's an audacious, almost reckless claim. Wesley's not going to count credentials or ordination papers or social standing. He is after courage, moral and spiritual courage, the kind that will tremble at evil, burn with divine desire, and refuse to compromise. And in an age when the Church of England was often staid and hierarchical and intellectually polite, it was a clarion call for something different, something radical, a new kind of discipleship. Now, the timing is critical. Aldersgate had sparked in Wesley a personal awareness of a heart strangely warmed, which means basically a conviction that Christian life is not mere adherence to ritual, but the awakening of an all-consuming love for God. And months later, he's translating that inner fire, that new revelation, into literary form, offering hymnody with his brother Charles as a vehicle for popular, accessible, spiritual experience. Something that mostly illiterate people could sing, could get into their systems, could reflect on and enjoy together. Now, these weren't arcane theological treatises for the cloistered elite. They were meant to ignite hearts. They were answering the summons of this very quotation. And Wesley signals that true power in the world, shaking the gates of hell, does not depend on your status, does not depend on your pulpit. It depends on a perfected devotion, an alignment between your desire and God's will. Wesley wanted to popularize passion. Come on, get on board and let God work through you. Now, here's the theological punch, that the kingdom of heaven on earth. Did you notice that? It's not a polite aspiration. In Wesleyan terms, it evokes Christian perfection, which means the radical, transformative ethic where love for God, love for neighbor, love God, love people, whether that dual principle guides what you do. Every act where sin is feared, not for punishment, but for its corrosive effect on community and life and on communion with God. And to desire nothing but God is to enact heaven on earth and to bear in daily life the visible, palpable presence of God's love. So this little quotation is a manifesto. The spiritual life is the locus of social and moral and cosmic transformation. This is where things start to change, right here, Wesley says. Now, it's an audacious message because it democratizes holiness. No one is outside the reach of God's Holy Spirit. Clergy, laity, we're all in on this. And the gates of hell do not bow to titles, they yield to courage and desire and relentless devotion. And in a culture that was preoccupied with class and hierarchy, Wesley reminds us of this. Reflect on this. Spiritual authority cannot be conferred. It can be embodied. Even today, these words are a provocation. The church, the public sphere, even our personal lives are littered with the timid, the cautious, the half-hearted. Wesley makes it so strong, so clear. Give me 100 preachers. Give me 100 fearless disciples who burn with a desire for God, capable of shifting the moral and spiritual contours of the world. This is not effort. This is availability to the presence of God. And on that simple, almost reckless hope lies the revolutionary core of early Methodism. The ordinary, set ablaze, can remake heaven on earth. And this, right here, this was where it all began.